Please be upstanding for Her Worship the Mayor and the Worshipful Party.
Good evening and welcome everyone to this evening's Borough Council meeting. I'd like to welcome members, officers, members of the public and those watching at home. I'd like to remind everyone to put their phones on silent if they haven't already done so. I also want to remind members that they cannot use social media during the meeting, but the public can. I'd like to check that everyone has the following agenda documents: the main agenda and the supplementary agenda. Thank you. May I remind all members that debate should be done through the Mayor and without interruption. I would like to make sure that council meetings proceed fairly with opportunities for everyone to speak without disturbance. And on that subject, I think it's a good time to remind us all that we are formally committed to civility in public life. I would like us all to set a good example to others. So whilst it's fine for us to disagree politically, we must always do so in a respectful manner. I know I can rely on members to remember this when contributing today. And may I also remind you that points of order can only be about breaches of the Constitution or law. Thank you. We'll now move on to the first item of the agenda. Apologies for absence have been received from Councillors Aksa Ahmed, Lily Bath, Samir Chowdhury and Tony Lukey. Are there any others, please? Councillor Stroudturp.
Yeah, I have apologies from Councillor Sukhbir Dhaliwal, Councillor Harleen Atwell, Councillor Unsa Chowdhury, and apologies for lateness from Councillor Chopra. Oh, and sorry, and Councillor Jagdish Sharma.
Thank you. Are there any others? Lovely, thank you. May I draw members' attention to the documents in the agenda on declaring interests? Could I ask if there are any declarations of interest? Councillor Guren?
Yes, yeah, I have declaration item number 19.
Okay.
Thank you, because of my son.
Thank you. Councillor Mann, sorry, yes.
Item number 19, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Could you say what your interest is, please?
Sorry, in terms of that I'm declaring what the interest is?
The interest that you're declaring, could you say?
It's the same as Vishnu Gurung's.
Well, I'm going to ask him again now as well. So could you tell me what it is?
Okay, I own a number of properties.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Guren?
It's the same. It's my son's property late to the tenant.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Gino?
Yeah, I own a few properties in the borough.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councillor Gurwell?
I'm a landlord and councillor as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councillor Gill?
I own a few properties in Hounslow.
Okay, thank you. And, Councillor Kiani?
Yeah, I also own a couple of properties in Hounslow, please.
Okay. Councillor Pritam Gurwell?
Same here, yeah. A couple of properties in Hounslow.
Thank you. Councillor Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, few properties in LBH.
Thank you. And Councillor Shivraj Agarwal?
Madam Mayor, myself, my son and my wife, we are landlords in the borough.
Thank you. We got all those. Councillor Mashiso?
I don't own any properties in as a landlord. Just want to
Thank
let you
you,
know that.
Councillor Mashiso. Okay, thank you very much. If that's everybody, we'll move on. So, agenda item 2. This first report is simply a request for members to note the outcome of the Brentford Eastern, Sion and Brentford Lock by-elections held on the 6th of March 2025 and to welcome councillors Theo Dennison and Max Mosley to the council. Many of us will know both of them already, but on behalf of all members across the council, I would like to welcome our 2 most recently elected members to the council. And so we move on to announcements. Do any cabinet members have announcements to make? Councillor Bruce.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My announcement is regarding the local plan, which I brought in a number of guises in front of the chamber a few times in the last couple of years. Just a little bit of an update, which I said I would give if anything changed in terms of the timelines or anything changed in terms of the process that I brought before you when we spoke about this before. I just wanted to update the fact that at this point in the process, we had expected to have submitted the local plan to the inspector. The anticipation then would be the inspector would review. There would be an inspection in public, examination in public during the summer, and adoption would take place, all being well, adoption would take place by the winter. Due to a number of things that have come out from the Regulation 19 consultation, nothing serious at all, but simply the fact the weight of evidence and a number of things that need to be checked through. It was advised that we need to take a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a gap on this, and actually this will be submitted by June at the very latest, which means it pushes back or potentially pushes back the ultimate adoption date. So by June, this will be submitted. By the autumn time or late autumn, we should be in examination. And then hopefully in February, March next year, if all being well, that is when it will be adopted. So just a quick update on where we are in the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bruce. Are there any other announcements? Councillor Rajwat, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I did it at Cabinet, but probably worth doing it in full council. Just a formal welcome to Benita Edwards as our new monitoring officer in section 151, monitoring officer and head of governance and legal as well. It feels like you've already been here quite a while, and you have been here previously, Benita, but we all look forward to working with you both through this forum and others. So welcome.
Okay, if there are no other announcements, we'll move on. Thank you. Agenda item 4, petitions. Are there any new petitions to present? Councillor Cameron.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have a petition from the Tudor Estate residents regarding the removal of parking bay in Elizabeth Way. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other petitions? No, that's lovely. We now move to the second part of the process. We have no petitions for consideration at the council meeting this evening. So now may I ask members to note the petitions listed in the report and also in the supplementary agenda. Thank you. We now come to agenda item 5, which relates to the council's transport policy. I would like to invite Councillor Dunn to propose and introduce the report.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I'm very pleased tonight to introduce our new transport strategy for the borough. Transport affects everyone who lives, works, studies or visits the borough. The new transport strategy sets the council's strategic ambition for travel in the borough. We want it to be safe, efficient, inclusive, healthy, clean and green. The new strategy establishes 4 focus areas for delivery going forward in order to enable safer and more accessible journeys, to develop healthy places so people can live well, to improve our local environment and respond to the climate emergency, and to support a fairer, growing borough by improving sustainable travel. Our borough is growing, with a 24% increase in daily trips expected by 2041, which equates to an increase of approximately 110,000 new trips per day over and above the 461,000 trips that we saw in 2022 to 2023. The transport strategy therefore provides a framework to guide all the transport investment within the borough and the governance framework for decision making. It's an update to the current transport strategy, which was adopted in 2019 and is needed to reflect changes in the borough over the last 6 years, of which members will be aware there have been plenty. The transport strategy update provides us with an opportunity to set out our ambitions for transport in the borough and is strongly aligned to each of the 6 corporate plan pillars. In particular, it will help to deliver a greener, healthier, thriving, safer and livable borough. Some of the key drivers for our refreshed transport strategy arise from our other work within the borough. So, for example, our equalities and diversity work. The transport strategy will support us in making a fairer and more equal Hounslow. We know that poor access to transport disproportionately affects some groups more than others, and the transport strategy is reflective of these needs and puts forward solutions and mitigations. The transport strategy will also support our work combating the climate emergency and helping us to deliver our climate emergency action plan. Transport and travel contribute approximately 1/3 of all of the carbon emissions for the entire borough. It is the single largest source of emissions. Public health is another important strand of work that will be supported by our transport strategy, supporting our health and well-being strategy. By increasing levels of physical activity through encouraging active travel and also decreasing harmful emissions from vehicles on our roads. The strategy will achieve the following objectives for transport in the borough. We will make transport safe. This will be achieved by ensuring people feel safe when travelling around the borough, both in terms of personal safety, but also delivering on the Mayor of London's Vision Zero, which aims to achieve 0 facilities and severe injuries on the roads of London. We will make transport efficient by enabling growth in the borough to support new and existing communities, new homes and jobs, and ensuring that our transport network is comprehensive to support the journeys that will be needed. To do this, we must enable a shift to higher capacity modes, reducing our demand on private cars on the road network. Our strategy will be inclusive, ensuring